Welcome to the Fayetteville Public Library offering of the Feldenkrais method, Awareness Through Movement. Before we actually begin the program, I just wanted to say a little bit about how to set up. So you're going to want a mat, or you can lie on carpet or on a bed if you like. Make sure that you're warm because the movement we're going to be doing today is very, very small movement, and it's conceivable that you could get cold, and it's very important to stay comfortable. And if you need a pillow behind your head, you might like that too. So what in the world is the Feldenkrais method? The first thing to really get is there is no right or wrong. There is no wrong way. I'm going to be offering you suggestions about movement. You're going to take up the suggestions and do the movement, and what you're doing is you're wanting to explore your sensory landscape, just what is going on in your physical self as you move. And the purpose is to uncover areas of difference or areas of blankness that you're not aware of. These come from habitual patterns that we take on as we go through life, and most of the time they're really important and they really serve us well. But in case of injury or difficulty, it really becomes important to know how to find other ways than the habitual. It's just amazing how strong the habitual is, though. And another difficulty is that you can't address it by force. This work is the opposite of no pain, no gain. So if you encounter any discomfort, any ill at ease feeling, just stop and pause and rest, and then take it up again or not as you want to. The work requires a lot of delicacy and gentleness and easy comfort. So then a lot of times I hear people say, but I'm not doing anything. Well, the thing is, you really are, but it takes time. You have to, it's a bit like phyllo dough or the layers of an onion or tree rings. Small, gentle repetition really adds up. So that's the introduction. Whatever you do, stay comfortable and take it easy. So the first thing to do is please lie on your back. There's nothing to see, nothing to demonstrate. It's all about how you receive the movement internally. So you're lying on your back and feel how the weight of yourself lands on the surface that's supporting you. We have a shape, and we have the way the habit shows up in ourselves as sometimes feeling different from one side to the other. So check out how your heel is lying on one side, and then feel, sense how your heel is lying on the other side. And then walk with your attention up one leg and just notice how when your calf lands on the floor, you can feel that. And then hop over to the other side and feel that calf. Notice that usually most people have space behind their knees, so just drop into that area, think about that, one side, then the other. Then come up to your thighs, one side and the other. And then that really beautiful heavy bone of the pelvis behind your butt on one side and the other. And then how your lumbar spine, your lower back, arches away from the floor and lands somewhere between your shoulder blades. And how have you chosen to put your hands? No need to change a thing, just notice. Notice the feeling of the weight in your elbows, one side and the other. Check in with your shoulders, one side, and compare to the other. Pause a moment while you're still in your torso and just notice the movement of your breathing. Without changing it at all, you just want to feel how you are in this moment. And then follow the arch of your neck and where your head lands. And then really slowly bend one knee and stand your foot underneath your knee, and then the other. So you end up with your feet flat and your knees oriented to the ceiling. And then please bring your left hand, the palm of your left hand, to your forehead. And put your hand on your forehead so it's sideways, so that your fingertips are pointing to the side. And your thumb is next to your index finger. And take a moment just to settle your hand, settle your shoulder. There's a lot of pauses in Feldenkrais, a lot of quiet, and it's really important to just stay with your sensation in these moments rather than let your mind wander off. It very likely will, but you want to bring it back. So the warmth of your hand, the surface of your skin on your palm as it contacts your forehead, and how can you make that hand really soft, really kindly in feeling. And then begin a movement with your hand so that you push your head ever so slightly to the right and then bring it back to the center. So you push it rather than pull, and you're turning your head to the right. That's it, that's it. Good, and repeat. So you start in the center in this settled place, and you push with the heel of your hand to the right, and then fingertips will bring your head back to center. And repeat this many times. And also bring your eyes closed. Just let your eyelids close and in a really restful position. And you're tilting a little bit to the right and back. And now add an element that you're paying attention to, and that is your breathing. So that as you turn your head slightly, exhale, and the feeling could almost be like falling. And then inhale on the way back and pause, and then exhale very gently on the way to the side, and then return. And one last piece, behind your closed lids, could you feel your eyes as if they were ripe plums or full of warm liquid? And as you turn your head, you just feel those eyes sort of slide and drop a little bit. And then slide back to center and pause and then repeat. Just ever so gently. And then slowly bring that to a close. Bring your arm back to your side or onto yourself very slowly and take a pause, rest. And now let's do the other side. So this is the right hand. The right palm comes to your forehead. And you're going to be turning your head to the left. So with this very soft, warm hand on your forehead, turning your head to the left, return to center. Exhale as you turn, and inhale as you return. And connect with this idea that you could feel yourself just yielding to gravity a little bit, and your eyes also roll to the left. And how gently could you do it? A lot of this work really depends on the minimal effort, just backing off and backing off and backing off, and you're looking to find what is the least amount that you could do. And how slowly could you make it? The slowness is really helpful to feel, oh, there's a little glitch in there, or oh, there's a little blank spot, or there's a little square spot. It's easy to miss those moments if you use momentum. So this is just very deliberate, very slow. That's great. And then when you get to a logical place, really bring your arms slowly, slowly down, because your shoulder's been in a position for a little while. Nice. And take a pause when you finally land and really settle. Now come back to the original side, which was your left hand on your forehead. And we'll do everything just the same as we did, but now you're going to add that your knees are going to tilt to the right also. So you use the heel of your hand to roll your head and let your knees come a little bit to the right too. And then every part of yourself returns back to where you started. You pause for a second and then you begin again. And do please remember keeping your eyes closed and that feeling of falling with your eyeballs, that your eyes rotate a little bit more to the right as you turn and then return to center. And repeat this many times. So what does this add now that you're tilting your knees? So explore that. Actually, there's quite a bit happening. So I'll give you a moment where you just use your own attention to follow all that's happening, and then I'll point out a few places in a minute. So, as you roll to the right, feel how your weight becomes clearer along the right and lifts a little bit along the left. It's not something that you make happen, it's part of the picture as you roll. And then bring your attention to your feet also, and you can feel a similar phenomenon, that as you roll to the right, the edge of your outer edge of your right foot may feel a little clearer, and the inner edge of your left foot. And then you even it out in the center, and you return to flat. Now bring your attention to your hip joints. Those are not actually along the side of yourself, they're inside, around the panty line. So feel how you couldn't possibly move your knees like this unless your hip joints were able to roll inside. So feel how that works. And then slowly bring that to a close. Bring your arm down slowly. And you can extend your legs or keep them bent, whatever is nice for you to feel comfortable. Indeed, we're on our back for quite a while this evening, today, whenever you're watching this. So you can always roll to your side, whatever you need to stay comfortable. And then come on back, bend one knee at a time, stand one foot. This time we'll switch sides, so it's the right hand to your forehead, and moving to the left. So as you use your arm to move your head, you also tilt your knees to the left, and I'll leave you some quiet now for you to track in your attention wherever you feel there's interest. But always remembering to keep the movement really slow, really gentle, and really tiny. You could do a great deal more, I'm sure, but if you keep the movement in a very narrow range, there's more of a chance to notice this delicate and fine degree of attention that we're cultivating with this work. Exhaling on the tilting, so you get that feeling like sliding or falling, and then inhaling on the way back. And then please let it go come to a resting position, and pause. And if you've got your legs long, would you please return them to standing feet? And this time, take hold of your left hand with your right hand. So that could be your hand, your wrist, your elbow, get you a slightly bigger movement, whatever you feel comfortable with. And now pull with your right hand, your right arm, as you tilt to the right, and let your head fall to the right also. And now this is an additional element that will emphasize what's going on in your left shoulder blade. So pulling with gently, very, very, very gently with your right hand, now adding that piece as you roll to the right, very slowly. And again, let your hands be really soft. As little effort in your hands as possible. And exhaling and really yielding, feeling how gravity pulls on you differently when you come out of the vertical. Nice. And then let that go and take a rest. And now come on back, one knee bent and then the other, and we'll do the other side. So that's you hold your right hand with your left hand, and your left hand is going to pull across yourself as you roll a little bit to the left. Let your knees tilt, let your head roll, and exhale and come back gently and slowly. What's going on in your shoulder, the right shoulder particularly? How does it feel? How do you receive the feeling of your arm traveling across yourself along your right ribs? Could you soften and yield to the movement? And then slowly by degrees, unwind and pause. And now please bring your left hand to your forehead as we did in the beginning. You're going to be tilting, rolling your head to the right and tilting your knees to the left. So feel how that is. Now you've introduced an oppositional twist. And then every piece of yourself returns to center, and then you do it again. And you repeat again really slowly. There's one other point. See if you can really keep your neck muscles completely out of the picture. Having your hand on your head like this gives your nervous system the really strange experience of your head moving without using your neck muscles. And that's one way to intervene in habitual use of your upper back and your shoulders, is to give your nervous system this really unusual experience of your head moving without your neck muscles. So sometimes that's not easy, so take your time the very soft, slow movement of your eyes can really help that. And what's different about tilting your knees away from the direction that you're rolling? Because this is now introducing oppositional rotation in your spine. So it's another layer of complexity for all the vertebrae in your spine to respond, and there comes a transition point when your upper back has to do something different. So really negotiate that, feel how it is. And then let that come to a close and pause. And we'll do the other side. So one knee bent, then the other. Right hand comes to your forehead. Your head is going to roll left, and your knees are going to roll to the right, are going to tilt to the right. So keeping the movement really small is important for this piece, because while it's probably pretty easy to let your knees fall away from the vertical, if you go all the way to the floor, then it's quite a task to haul them all the way back. So you want to keep this way within the doable range, not to see how far you can go, but rather to refine all these small pieces that are going to come alive when your attention goes to them. And then bring that to a close and take a pause. And now just make it really easy. You're just going to roll a tiny bit to the left, a tiny bit to the right, just side to side, and just give yourself just this really gentle rocking motion where all parts of you are moving in harmony. And you're no longer being quite so particular. You just let the movement, that's it, yes. Just let it go a little bit. Nice. And then if you feel like it, next time your knees are in one place, you can leave them there, let your head turn, and then get the oppositional movement, if you want to, if it feels like it might be inviting for you. And then you flip your knees and roll your head in the other direction, and just make this now really luxurious, just really enjoyable, whatever you feel like doing. And then when you've had enough, you're satisfied, then come back to the position you began, which was legs extended, most likely. But if not, if you had your knees bent, then come back to that. And take another sounding of how you are now after we've spent this little time together. Remember how we walked through ourselves, emphasizing the weight of ourselves on the support. So one heel and the other, and now you're really looking for any changes, any differences that the work might have resulted in. So heels, one heel to the other, one, pardon me, one calf to the other, the space behind your knee, and then the other knee, behind your pelvis, behind your hips, the space behind your waist and your lower back, where you feel your shoulders land, the movement of your breathing, the weight on your elbows, the arch of your neck, and where your head is resting. And now, roll to the side of your choice. Take it slowly. Really take your time. Let your head be heavy. That's nice. Roll to one side and then begin the process of standing in the way that just suits you. Come to standing really slowly. And then when you get to standing, just see how you're hanging now. Your relationship to gravity is now really different from what you were doing for the past half hour or so. So you're going to feel yourself. And then we did a lot of rotation, so very gently turn from side to side. Let your feet respond, let your legs respond, however. And now just do a movement that you feel like doing with your arms, your head. One shift weight one side to the other. And take a few steps forward and back just to reacquaint. And thank you. We're done.